week. And my take is that it's going to probably have the opposite of what you would think. The talks broke down, but they didn't end. That's one thing hanging out there. The blockade of the strait. Uh, my first thought about it is that's a pretty good idea. It might be a little short-term pain, but one of the things that I noticed tonight, crude opened at 102, went up to 105. It's holding 105 right now, pretty solid above about 7%. But the other thing I think is really key to everything, the VIX was at 20, popped to 22 and a quarter. Keep your eye on the VIX. That'll tell the story. I do have a couple of numbers I'll give everybody that I'm using to make these assessments. As long as we're above 67.30 on the E-mini, 67.30, I think the odds favor a rebound. That's what I think. And I don't want to, tell you anything else, but, other than the fact that we'll know that if you go back to the opening price of the week, 67.80, we're currently carrying 67.82. It's not looking all that bad. I think we'll know as we get through RB1 into RB2 tomorrow. But I do feel that the market itself is trying its very best to go higher, even though we're down. Maybe sort of a reverse way of thinking about things, but you got to have numbers. And my number that tells me to revisit this thought is 67.30. Everybody got that number? 67.30? Now, I want to talk a little bit about who's a member of my T-Buzz All-Stars, my longest running program I've had, I think since 2015. Anybody a member of that? You might remember years ago.
2012, at the end of 2012.
2012, we sold it.
December 2012 was the starting date.
The starting date, 2012. We sold it for $4,500 a year at the time, and this is really the granddaddy of everything I've ever done. But one of the things I taught back then is something I'm going to teach this Tuesday. Okay, so this Tuesday we'll probably meet at. Let's meet at 10:30. We'll change that schedule to give me an extra 30 minutes there on Tuesday at 10:30 to show it. It's a great way to set up income for the week. Anybody interested in that? Getting income for next week? It works. Tested over, Adam, 14 years? It's a simple setup I designed many years ago, and I think everybody do it. Todd said he's been a member for 13 years. Okay. John typed in here earlier. John, type again where Adam can copy. I sort of agree with your assessment. He typed in here earlier his opinion of this latest activity. I think you ought to read this. Pretty good, pretty informed, I think. We'll see. I'm putting numbers to it, 67.30. Join our Telegram channels, join our DTItrader.com. I will post tomorrow morning the pivot number I'll be using, and I think it'll be a good one. So don't want to miss tomorrow's pivot number to start off the week. Risks involved in trading, as I always say, past performance is not indicative of future results. But one thing you'll find out with me, even when I'm wrong, I always try to give you a number that tells you I'm wrong. In other words, trying to say the market's going to be up. I say the market's going to be up as long as it's above that 67.30 all bets off number. Everybody understand how I operate? I think that's important because, anybody can say, hey, this chart says go long, this chart says to do this or that. But to give you a number that you know how to adjust your thinking, I think is very valuable. I was in a lot of programs years ago, learning a lot of things and hearing a lot of different people. They always had an iffy part. And the iffy part is The iffy part was you didn't know where they really stood after the market changes, and it does change, in fairness. Okay, for folks, former Air Force officer, maybe some special insights about that training I had. Active trader since the 70s, former member of Chicago Mercantile Exchange, author of 3 books, and I've worked with a lot of students. We got to update that number, Adam. I think it's more than that. I've been using that figure for about 10 years. You know, the interesting thing is that my first book, Winning Day Trading Game, was named in title only. It's got a lot of great stuff in there I still use to this day. Anybody have a copy of that first book? If you bring it to Sawgrass, which is the first couple days of June, you know, I'll get it signed for you. Markets Never Sleep was my 24-hour take. And then Trade to Win. I think you got to surround yourself with positive people. I've seen people, negative people, and I mean, I don't know how they ever make a dime. You got to be positive about everything you do and do it by the day if you have to. You know, go pout for a day and come back the next day. Persevere. Now, DTI will help you master the markets through education, training, and experience. In my opinion, I do believe the market will go higher. I do believe that. And my all bets off number for this week is 67.30, where I'll review that opinion when it happens. 67.30. Folks, the Seven Sisters, if you look at them right now, down about 1.8%. I want to drop down to crude oil. It's up 83% for the year. It's actually up tonight about 8%. It's at a high of 105.63. Currently, it's 104.58. It's dropped from its high. Keep your eye on that. If it breaks 102, then you're going to find the market will climb higher. Write that number down. Break a 102 where it opened tonight, it will climb higher. Okay? Tickers for the week. Now, this is so valuable if you do the following 2 things. If you will set alerts on the QQQ, whether it goes up or down at these numbers, what we find out, these are really great numbers to use for the week, okay? Yes, it's UVXY, Adam. UVXY, if you don't mind. But these are the numbers for the, I try to give you an up market and a down market number. I gave you an up market and down market for the SQQQ and a up market for the TQQ. I got UVXY is a new one I got. Keep your eye on that one. TLT 88.55. I think interest rates will continue to make lows in yield. AMD above 250 is our next cycle there. And SLV greater than 70.55. That was the get back in price. We're getting close to it again, 70.55. Now, how do you take advantage of this? I think the easiest way to take advantage of these tickers and real money for the week is set alerts on your platform, okay? And I would tell you, if you do that, that's pretty good. And I would buy a Delta 30, a Delta 30. Everybody know what a Delta 30 option is, right? About 30 days out. That's what I would use for this. So here's the way it would work. If the QQQ got above 16.55, I'd go search for a 30-day option and Delta 30, I would buy it. That's how I would do it. How many people like the 10 tickers? You know, I give this to you. Really, it's one of the, I guess, unique things about showing up on Sunday night. Sure, Marianne. Set an alert. If the QQQ goes above 16.55, 88.55, go find a 30-day option, Delta 30. If TLT went above 88.55, go buy an option, a call option, Delta 30, AMD, SLV above those prices. It's a layup trade if you want to pay attention and follow these numbers from Sunday night. That's a reasonable, neutral Delta 30 option, 30 days out is a reasonable way to make money off the change in the momentum when it breaks these prices. Okay, that's why I use Delta 30. Probabilities for the week. We've got good probabilities Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I think. So if you stop everything I told you so far, let's review. I told you I believe the market's going to end up higher. I gave you a number that said I had to revisit that decision. Does everybody here understand that theme I just gave you? 67.30, I have to revisit what I think. Okay? All right. Number two, actually it was number three, I think if you get my pivot number tomorrow, you will have a real good understanding of what happened overnight when maybe to get longs. A break in price means a close higher net number, Barry. Is that pretty clear? I like that. Daisy clear. I like that. So far in the first 15 minutes, I've given you money-making ideas. How many people believe I've given you money-making ideas in the first 15 minutes of me opening my mouth? Give me a yes if you believe that. Everybody sees the value. Good. And Adam, we don't charge for this shit, do we? We just let him come for free. News for the week. Big news tomorrow is a Goldman Sachs earning. Watch it. I think you'll have some J&J earnings, and at the end of the week, you got JP Morgan, Citibank to look at. So there's pretty good stocks this week reporting earnings. Keep your eye on those stocks, okay? There it is. 13 years following T-Buzz All-Stars has been a winner across the board. I think after about 5 years, we changed the name to All-Stars because this was something that had received that legendary returns over 5 years in the market, T-Buzz All-Stars. The story of T-Buzz All-Stars. Years ago, when I made a real big transition into stock options and doing things, people said, Tom, can you give us the kind of trades to do? I said, why not create a program and we'll call it T-Buzz Trading or whatever we called it at the time. I forget, Adam, I don't know if your memory is probably better than mine. I just remember changing it to T-Buzz All-Stars, okay? We started it. And
one real quick, T-Buzz, can you click that X? There's an X that's making your screen a little smaller.
Where's that X at? I don't know, Adam, if I can or not. I don't know.
I can log on and do it if
Yeah,
you
why
need.
don't you log on and fix that? Hello, Fred. Okay, so far, I've given you three major things. Now, would you like to have some numbers to put resistance and breakout numbers on a couple selected tickers? Would you like to have that? Give me a yes if you would. I'll give it to you. Type it in there, Adam. I'll go slow. You ready? Once you get ready, let me know.
All right, you're gonna have to bring up
My chat.
slides again, but I got the window gone. So
How's
there you
that?
go. Perfect.
Looking for the chat. There it is. Okay, you ready to go? For the E-mini, those that trade futures. I can look back here. 68.13, you go long. Below 67.53, you go short. That's what the E-mini, Adam, okay? NASDAQ futures. Go long at 25.11, 25.111. Go short at 24.851. Silver, here's one for you. Go long at 75 and short at 72.40 for silver. Here's gold. Long at 47.32, short at 46.50. Would you like a few stocks?
Yeah. I think you're gonna have to look at the mic whenever you're talking because we can't really hear
Oh,
you.
you can't hear me? Okay, I'll come back. Did everybody, y'all didn't get those when we go back through it? What'd you get, Adam?
It's just when you're looking away, it's too hard to understand. So
Okay, let's start over. I want to give these people E-mini. E-mini. On a different computer, I gotta look at it. 68.13. 68.13. Going long. Going short. E-mini. 67.50. 67.50. Okay, that's E-mini. Let's get the NASDAQ futures. NASDAQ futures. 25.111 long. NASDAQ short. Two four eight 248.40 NASDAQ short. Silver long. Silver long. Silver futures. I'll give you SLV in a second. Silver. $75 on silver. 75 on silver. Going short, 72.40. Going gold? This is gold future. Gold. 47.31 gold. That's going long. 46.45 short. All right, let's jump over to some stocks, selected stocks, okay? We'll start out with, I got one for Frank, my fellow corn trader. Corn futures. $4.43 on corn futures, Frank. And you're wrong at corn futures. You're wrong at $4.38. We made a bunch of money last week on soybean. Hey, Frank, 11.70 on soybeans is where you go long. You go short at 1160. How you like that? And both of it are long right now, folks. Those two. Anyway, that's pretty cool, isn't it? And I gave you crude oil, right? Did I give you crude oil? 102 is the pivot number on crude. No, long corn, Marianne. All right, let's do GLD next. GLD, go long at 440.55. 440.55. SLV. $70.55. $70.55 for SLV. All right, I'm gonna give you a couple of the Mag 7. Apple. Apple, go long at 262.55. 262.55. Let's do NVIDIA. $190.55 for NVIDIA. And I got Neil always trades MU. Might as well give him MU. He's here. MU, Neil, above 425.55. Those numbers I just gave you are good till in the morning. Y'all like that little extra treat? Give me a yes if you like these, have these numbers in case you do things tonight, right? General rules apply. You ought to probably wait till after 9. Why after 9? You gotta get the Nikkei and Hang Seng out of the way. Okay, so what have I given you so far? Just type it in there and summarize. I gave you, my thoughts. Frank says, you just gave us money. Thanks, Frank. I gave you my general opinion on the market. I thought it would go higher as long as it stayed above 47.30. I said I thought the Iran blockade was a good decision, but I'd revisit it if we broke 47.30. I gave you the top 10 tickers, told you how to use it. I went further than that, gave you tonight's numbers in case you want an early start off RB1. Boy, this thing's getting, Adam, we got a record crowd. We're getting a lot of people here on Sunday night. I must be giving away stuff too much, right? Look at that. Yeah, 67.30 on the mini futures. Again, T-Buzz All-Star is the granddaddy of all my services. I'm doing something special this week to celebrate the anniversary. We started in April. We used to have a whole class around this. Y'all remember that? People used to come to Mobile for the anniversary class. The art of trading requires you to know the 24-hour market. We give it to that through our white papers. And Adam, we got a lot of new people. Why don't you put the white papers in there and let them have that? They can read that tonight for their pleasure. It talks about all the times that are important over the next 24 hours. I don't know how people can trade without it successfully, but I'll give it to you. Stocks move around earnings, they move around news, they move around rumors. Right now, they're moving around news. They opened down tonight based on news. What do you think made the market sell off tonight? The big overriding factor was what? The fact that the negotiation Saturday didn't really accomplish anything. What do you think the reason is? I believe we're going to go up from here. And that reason is, I think the twist of turning the straight where they were in control, where we're in control. I like that. We're in control. The buyers and sellers have a battle. I keep it simple. The reason S&P is so important, 75% of all stocks follow. So if I'm right about the E-mini going up, what happens to some of these stocks? 75% of it approximately will go up. Makes it easy, right? That's why it's important to get direction right, long, short, or out. How does it play out in real life? You got to have a plan. That's why we're here tonight, to have a plan. So far, I've given you the foundation for a great plan if you want to use it. If you choose not to use it, you're on your own. I do a lot of work preparing this for Sunday night. I hope it helps you. Risk control. I'm working on something now that's pretty big. I'll share it with you when I get it, but I figured out a way to control the risk using technology. How many people would be interested in something like that? That you could have the computer like working for you to fit your rules and criteria. All right, Adam, I'm gonna do something here a little extra. Everybody that's interested in that, put your name and email and phone number in here, and Adam, make me a list of these people. I got something that's going to blow their mind when I get it done. I always like to use technology to lower my risk and improve my accuracy. Okay. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, by the way, Adam, will you post a link to the slides? Fred's asked about 3 times. There goes Scott's number. I'll give you a chance to capture all of these. David. Don. Yeah, I think I'm hitting a theme here. Steve. Fred. John Sproul. Hello, Johnny boy. He told me last week I talked to John. He made $4,800 off one of my recommendations. Where do you go, Johnny? Sonny? David? Hey, Roger. My doctor from Texas. Hector. Hey, Hector. Why do you think my program I established all those years ago is so beneficial to you? 3 things. Every week, with a few exceptions, every week with a few exceptions, you're going to get a great trade. This week, you get something special. I'm going to go back and review the start of the T-Buzz program and show you the technique I still use to this day. Difference being, with options, it used to be out to the next monthly options. since a lot of these options expire a lot quicker, I can show you the technique. I think you're going to love it. So we're going to update it and review it this Tuesday at 10:30. Five guiding principles. 75% in all stocks follow the S&P 500. I write down Monday's high and Monday's low. Tonight's low so far on the E-mini, give it to you, is 67.67. I don't believe in unnecessary stress or risk. So I have a design program that's customizable for you where you can live inside your own ball field. If the odds are not in my favor, I do not trade. How many people's ever heard me say that when hey, you hadn't given me a trade this? I always say, odds are not in my favor, I'm not going to take the trade. If you're not making money, especially with options, my rule is get out in 3 days. Great rule, isn't it? How much money does that save people just using that simple approach? If you're not making money on options, get out of position in 3 days. Developing these principles help us develop what I call the crown jewel of trading services, T-Buzz All-Stars. My goal is to help you time the markets. We meet on Tuesday every week. 3 live sessions each week. We used to charge for this Sunday night through T-Buzz All-Stars. We used to charge for Wednesday night through T-Buzz All-Stars. Adam might have to consider doing that again. But anyway, T-Buzz All-Stars always gave you a pass for Sunday night and for Wednesday night, plus Tuesday. That was 3 times during the week. The Sunday night planning session, what you heard tonight is a lot of framing for this week. You left here tonight knowing what I think. And for people who's new, I'm usually right about 4 out of 5 times. Just keep that in the back of your mind. I'm not right 100% of the time. We're going to determine this week whether to be long, short, or out. And we're going to take advantage of it. That's our goal. I always do education. Tomorrow at 11, we'll have education at 11 o'clock. Stay ahead of the market with me on Sunday night. I work Saturday and Sunday where you don't have to. I try to give you the cream de cream of what you need to know to make money for this week. From time to time, we have live trading sessions. In T-Buzz All-Stars, we have it every Tuesday when the odds are in our favor. It's our trade of the week. Take all the trades issued at Tuesday's live trading session that I issue. This Tuesday, you'll have anywhere from 3 to 5 trades on Tuesday. 3 to 5. I'll give you entry. I'll tell you where you're wrong, and I'll tell you where you're right. If I can find 5 trades, minimum 3. I'll have flash meetings are necessary. I had a couple last week. If you attended them, to get you updated on the rapidly changing trend. Adjusting the market conditions throughout the week, giving you extra help you need when you need it. Over the past 13 years, T-Buzz Service has consistently been a student favorite. My goal is to get you involved with my crown jewel of trading. Now it's time for you to become a T-Buzz All-Star. I find you heard what Todd said. He's been a member for 13 years. Must be a reason. It's that good, folks. The crown jewel of trading, high probability trades, Sunday night planning, I always have a pass there, live trading Tuesday, and flash meetings. Get involved. Join at the lowest price that's ever been offered. The new strategy is really an old strategy I introduced 13 years ago. I'll show you how it works. You'll love it. Everybody here can do it if you understand basic options. So if you join tonight, 30 days of access, $97. Call 904-706-3532. If you got any questions, go to dtitrader.com/tbuzz. Let me ask you some questions I expect you to have. I trade on Tuesday. Has anybody ever heard me call Tuesday trade day? This is why. T-Buzz All-Stars. If the plan is intact when we get to Tuesday, we'll go with the plan. Take 30 days with me, see what I'm talking about. You'll never leave. dtitrader.com/tbuzz. Is there a guarantee? You got 30 days access for $97. At the end of $97, get your money back if I don't perform. You heard me. I'm willing to put it out there if you're willing to take the chance. It says here they give you 14 days. Adam is given the full 30 days if they follow what we do. Okay? We don't need pikers in here. We want people that are actually listening and taking the trades. Yes, John, this is available. All you have to do is show up on Tuesday. He asked me to have a Telegram. It has a Telegram channel, but you got to show up on Tuesday to get it. New member training this Tuesday at 10:30. Let's get started together. And I have tons of trading resources already available to you. It opens it up for you. New options, old options, reviews, all that stuff. 30 days of access. As a special bonus, I will go through the top 10 tickers I gave tonight on Tuesday also. Call 904-706-3532. This is how a small account becomes a big account working with me. This is our plan. Again, option trades. You can buy the stock, by the way. You can buy the stock. But option plans using Delta. 30 days of access, $97. Anybody got any questions that would keep them from doing this special deal? If you grab your 30 days access, on the next page, you got an opportunity to upgrade your subscription to a year at a fraction of the normal cost. Be sure to see that. I hadn't seen what it is, but Adam said he was going to be real generous tonight. So if you like to receive more and you're locked in with what I'm doing, this is the way to do it. This must trade alerts from our system. Upgrade to a year, save hundreds of dollars in the profits. As a minimum, take the 30 days, $97. I gave you enough information tonight to justify $1,000 if you use it. If you don't use it, it's not worth anything. But what I gave you tonight should put you on the right course for my goal, having the planning session to have, let me repeat, to have a very successful week. Who's joining me in T-Buzz All-Stars? Give me a yes that you're in. I'd like to see how many people can smell the money. Just type in, I'm joining, yes, in. That lets me know I hit a chord with everybody here tonight. David said he's joined. Rod's joined. Great. Don, perfect. Steve, perfect. Thank you so much. Fred said he bought a 3-year package. I didn't know we offered 3, but congratulations. Fred's always wanting a deal. I bet he got a good deal. All right, folks. And Fred, I'll be seeing you this month. One-on-one trading. Two weeks. Can't wait. You're going to love it. Adam, I think we got everything covered. Do me a favor. Send me a list of those names where I can print it off, put it in my folder.
I'll do that and I'll replay it once you say you were done with
I
tonight.
think I've done everything I can possibly do. I exceed my own expectations. When I do that, it's going to be a good week.
Sounds good.
Somebody said, Roger said, don't buy this if you don't like making money. That's a pretty good endorsement.